Imagine trusting your life to a doctor, someone you believe is dedicated to healing, compassion, and care. Now imagine discovering that this very doctor is, in fact, the most prolific serial killer in British history, a man who used his position to commit unimaginable acts. This is the true story of Harold Shipman, a trusted family doctor who became a symbol of ultimate betrayal, shattering the illusion of safety in the most personal of places, our homes. For years, Shipman moved quietly through his community, ending the lives of those who relied on him, often without raising any suspicion. He preyed on the elderly, especially vulnerable women living alone, targeting those who were isolated and trusting. Shipman would visit them in their homes, bringing comfort, or so they thought, before administering lethal injections that ended their lives. He then falsified medical records and death certificates, skillfully covering his tracks and making each murder appear to be a natural, peaceful passing. His crimes went undetected for decades, hidden behind the closed doors of a quiet English town where no one suspected such evil could exist. The impact was seismic. He shattered the sacred trust between doctor and patient, leaving a community in shock and fear. Shipman's case forced a painful re-examination of medical regulations, prompting urgent reforms and new safeguards to protect patients. It also raised difficult questions about how the medical profession polices itself and how such horrors could go unnoticed for so long. This is more than a crime story. It's a chilling warning about the darkness that can hide behind respectability and a reminder to never take trust for granted. Harold Shipman grew up in Nottingham, England, a quiet, intelligent boy from a working-class family. He was known for his reserved nature and sharp mind, often keeping to himself but excelling in school. The Shipman household was typical of the era, modest, close-knit, and shaped by the values of post-war Britain. Shipman was deeply affected by his mother's death from cancer when he was just a teenager. The loss left a void in his life, and he watched helplessly as illness consumed her. Witnessing her receive morphine for pain relief left a lasting impression, one he would later twist for his own purposes. The power of medicine to both ease suffering and end life fascinated him, planting a seed that would grow in darkness. Shipman excelled academically, graduated from Leeds School of Medicine, and began his career as a promising young doctor. He was ambitious, determined to make a name for himself in the medical world. But in 1975, he was caught forging prescriptions for pethidine, addicted to the very drugs he would later use to kill. The scandal could have ended his career, but the consequences were surprisingly mild. Despite this, after a brief stint in rehab, he quickly found work again as a GP, his early misconduct barely a blip on his record. The medical establishment seemed eager to give him a second chance, overlooking warning signs. By 1993, Shipman opened his own solo practice in Hyde, giving him total control over patients and records. He was respected in the community, trusted by families who relied on him for care. No partners, no oversight, just Shipman, alone with his secrets. The isolation allowed him to operate without interference, hiding his true intentions behind a mask of professionalism. The system's failure to address his addiction and deceit set the stage for his future crimes. Lax oversight and a culture of trust in doctors left patients vulnerable. He learned he could break the rules and get away with it. Each small transgression emboldened him, reinforcing the belief that he was untouchable. That knowledge, combined with unchecked autonomy, enabled his reign of terror for over 2 decades. Shipman's story is a chilling reminder of what can happen when power goes unchallenged. Shipman's greatest weapon was his carefully crafted persona. To Hyde, he was the ideal family doctor, attentive, patient, always willing to make house calls. He built deep trust, especially among the elderly, who saw him as a compassionate friend. This trust became his shield. When patients died suddenly, no one questioned it. Shipman isolated his victims during house calls, administering lethal doses of diamorphine in the privacy of their homes. He comforted grieving families, expertly playing the role of the caring doctor. His performance was so convincing that families thanked him, never suspecting he was the cause of death. The community's unwavering belief in Shipman made him nearly untouchable. Any suspicion seemed absurd. He was the doctor everyone admired. This collective trust allowed him to hide in plain sight. Even as suspicions slowly surfaced, Shipman had made himself invincible. Shipman's first murder is lost to history, but his killing escalated after opening his solo practice. His victims were mostly healthy, elderly women, chosen for their vulnerability and trust. He'd visit under the guise of routine care, inject a lethal dose of diamorphine, and certify death as natural. Shipman manipulated medical records, adding fake symptoms to support his false diagnoses. He urged families to choose cremation, destroying toxicological evidence. With each death, he erased the trail, his crimes hidden by trust and a broken system. For over 20 years, Shipman murdered undetected, one silent victim at a time. For years, the mounting number of unexplained deaths surrounding Dr. Shipman went unnoticed. But eventually, the sheer volume raised alarms among hospital staff and local authorities. Whispers of concern grew louder as families began to question the loss of their loved ones. In 1998, Dr. Linda Reynolds, a local GP, noticed the unusually high death rate among Shipman's patients. Troubled by the pattern, she reported her suspicions to the coroner, setting in motion a chain of events that would change everything. The first police investigation, however, was shockingly inadequate. Shipman's calm demeanor, convincing explanations, and forged medical records managed to fool investigators, allowing him to continue his deadly work unchecked. With the case closed prematurely, Shipman was free to kill again. Tragically, 3 more patients lost their lives before anyone intervened. Ultimately, it was Shipman's greed that led to his downfall. After murdering Kathleen Grundy, he forged her will, leaving her entire estate to himself, a move that would finally expose his crimes. Grundy's daughter, Angela Woodruff, a sharp and determined solicitor, immediately suspected foul play. She refused to accept the suspicious will and demanded a thorough investigation from the authorities. This time, the police took action. They exhumed Kathleen Grundy's body and, through forensic analysis, discovered a lethal dose of diamorphine, a drug Shipman had easy access to as a doctor. The combination of the forged will and the damning toxicology report provided undeniable evidence of murder and fraud. Police launched a full-scale inquiry, meticulously reviewing medical records and uncovering a chilling pattern of altered documents and suspicious deaths stretching back years. Shipman's carefully constructed house of cards began to collapse as the evidence mounted and his lies unraveled. The overwhelming evidence left Shipman with nowhere to hide. The mask of the trusted doctor was finally slipping away. The community was left reeling as their once trusted doctor became the prime suspect in a shocking string of murders, shaking their faith in those meant to heal. At last, the truth was coming to light, and justice was finally within reach for Shipman's many victims. As the investigation deepened, Hyde was rocked by disbelief and horror. Many defended Shipman, unable to accept their trusted doctor could be a killer, but digital evidence and exhumations revealed the scale of his deception. Families learned their loved ones had been murdered by the man they trusted most. The community's denial turned to shock and grief. Police, embarrassed by their earlier failures, poured resources into the case. The town's social fabric crumbled. Neighbors questioned if their own relatives were victims. Shipman, once a symbol of care, became the face of unimaginable evil. Shipman's crimes sent shockwaves far beyond Britain, striking at a universal fear, the betrayal of trust by a healer. The idea that a doctor could become a serial killer was both terrifying and deeply unsettling. Shipman was ordinary, not a monster from a horror film, but a trusted figure in the community. His methodical, motiveless killings exposed the vulnerability of systems built on trust. The case revealed critical weaknesses in medical oversight and death certification. Media coverage amplified the horror, making Shipman a global symbol of medical betrayal. Dr. Death became shorthand for the unimaginable evil hiding in plain sight. The world was forced to confront the uncomfortable truth. This could happen anywhere. Shipman's trial began in October 1999, focusing on 15 murders and 1 count of forgery. The prosecution presented overwhelming evidence: sudden deaths, lethal drug levels, and falsified records. Shipman remained cold and defiant, denying everything. His arrogance only strengthened the case against him. On January 31, 2000, the jury found him guilty on all counts. He received 15 life sentences, with no chance of parole. For victims' families, justice brought little comfort. The pain and betrayal remained. Shipman never confessed or explained his actions. In 2004, he hanged himself in prison, taking his secrets and the true number of victims to the grave. His final act was as solitary and controlled as his crimes. The Shipman case left a deep scar on British healthcare and public trust. A massive public inquiry exposed systemic failures and led to sweeping reforms. Death certification now requires double checks, and dangerous drugs are tightly regulated. The medical profession faced tough scrutiny and fundamental changes in oversight. Clinical governance and accountability became central to the NHS. The era of the unquestionable doctor ended. Transparency and teamwork took its place. Yet, rebuilding trust has been slow and difficult. Patients became more vigilant, questioning and seeking second opinions. Shipman's legacy is a stark reminder: trust, once shattered, can only be rebuilt through unwavering commitment to safety and honesty.